Who are the best DC characters that debuted in 2018? Let's talk about it. Universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm your host, as always, C-Dubs, and I'm riding solo on this video. And guys, it is my duty, and yes, I said duty, to bring you a brand new top 10 list. And that top 10 list is going to coincide with the best of 2018, which you know YouTube loves to bring you, and we're no different. So we're going to be bringing you the best DC characters that made their debut in 2018. And unlike any other top 10 list, this is the official, this is legit, there's nothing better. Your opinion doesn't matter, it's only my opinion. This is the way it is, and I don't care what you have to say. No, I'm just joking. Alright, just calm down, don't unsubscribe, don't unclick. This is a top 10 list, and it's all subjective. If one of your favorite characters that made their debut in DC Comics did not make this list, trust me, there are a ton of them. I actually couldn't believe how many brand new characters made their appearance in the DC Prime universe. Not just DC Prime, okay? We're talking Bombshells, we're talking Legends, some of their video games. So many characters that made their debut in 2018. They crushed Marvel in that, like, literally crushed Marvel in that department. Trust me on this. I had a hard time compared to DC trying to put together that top 10 Marvel. So this, again, is just subjective. If one of your top 10 is not on this list, let us know in the comments below. And who knows, maybe they'll make some other list, guys. And alright, so let's jump right into this. Man, I'm so excited. Number 10 is, I gotta say, a guilty pleasure of mine, and out of everybody on this list, he doesn't play that big of a role to even make this list, but considering how old this character is, where he comes from, I have to put him on this list just for my own sheer nostalgic reasons alone, and that is none other than the Chrome Dome himself, Egghead. That's right, the Egghead from 1966 Batman series, played by the inaugural great Vincent Price. That's right, that Vincent Price, Edward Scissorhands' father, the voiceover to Michael Jackson's Thriller, the horror icon himself who made the role famous, has finally made his comic book debut. However, not in the most appealing way, if you will, more so as a background character in Harley Quinn Volume 3, number 38, and again in number 40. But it is now official, he has made his debut in the Essential Prime DC universe, so that officially makes it canon, and maybe someday we'll see him take on the Cape Crusader himself in some plotting, scrambling, egg-deducing villainous scheme. But what makes Eggman so special to me, if you will, I just got to go on a little tangent here, guys. In the 1966 Batman television series, only one of two men deduced who Batman was without using trickery. And that's right, it was not the Riddler. It was not the Joker. It was not the Penguin. It was not Catwoman. It was none of his major rogues, if you will. It was, yes, Vincent Price, Eggman, who figured out by sheer detective will, if you will, there could only be one of three men who could afford the gadgetries, one of only 3 billionaires, or slash millionaires, I should say, at the time, in Gotham City, who could be Batman. And he deduced that Batman was not left-handed, so therefore it eliminated one of the millionaires. He also deduced that Batman did not have a French accent, so that eliminated the other millionaire, leaving only Bruce Wayne to have possibly been Batman all this time. So, for that merit alone, and the fact that now he is actually officially a part of the DC canon, I had to put him on this list at number 10. Sorry, guys. At number 9, Rogol Zar. That's right, from the twisted mind of Brian Michael Bendis. Since it was such a big deal that DC had acquired the talents of that gentleman, I just had to put it on this list. For better or for worse, whether you like Brian Michael Bendis or not, he is a game changer. He is a big, huge name in the industry, and the acquisition of his talents and writing for Action Comics and Superman, and giving him their number one Boy Scout, if you will, their number one prime hero, is a big deal and speaks volumes to Brian Michael Bendis. Now, as far as Rogol goes, he is a monster, if you will. He ranks, I would put him right up there along the list of Doomsday. This dude is a planet killer. In fact, he is actually credited to being the reason that Krypton was destroyed. He also destroyed the Fortress of Solitude and the Lost City of Keldor. He has gone on to ransack both Superman and Supergirl. He was able to hold his own against the likes of both the Man of Steel and the Girl of Steel. This dude is not to be taken lightly. Now, he may just seem like another run-of-the-mill character, if you will, but changing the origins to the first and foremost greatest superhero of all time, and again, that's subjective. I myself am not even that big of a Superman fan, but credit where credit is due. By changing the origins of Superman, that's a big deal. And we all know that Brian Michael Bendis doesn't really do many things in the short term. Sometimes he'll do something, and many years later, he has had this grand design or grand plan that swings back around to that character or that moment in time. And I have a feeling that Rogol is here to stay, and it, in my opinion, a pretty powerhouse and vicious addition to the Superman Rogues Gallery. At number 8, the main teen herself, the daughter of the main man Lobo, and we are talking Crush. She is a new member of the Teen Titans, and she joined the team while trying to find the murderers of her parents, and she needed Robin's assistance to actually find out who those killers were. And this chick is down to get dirty. She is every bit as strong and as brutal as her main man dad. She oozes all the same stereotypes that he does. She's absolutely awesome and one of my favorites of 2018. And I surely believe she is a character that's going to be here for the long haul, because she's just absolutely awesome. Her aesthetics and her color scheme are absolutely awesome. And I just have no doubt that she's going to be around for many years to come. At number 7, we have a tie, or should I say a duo, of the Mime and Marionette. That's right, from the Watchmen universe. Created by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Thanks to the Doomsday Clock, they are now officially a part of the DC Prime. They are a pastiche of the Charleston characters Punch and Julie, / I would also say they are somewhat inspired as well. Currently, I would say, at least in their makeup and design, a little bit of the Joker and Harley Quinn as well. But this fantastic flamboyant couple, they are notorious bank robbers who are confronted by the new Rorschach and brought to Owlman 2's lair, and they end up jumping in the Owl pod, if you will, and finding their way to the DC Prime. And at one point in time, Dr. Manhattan was getting ready to annihilate the couple when he realized that they were expecting. And I'm expecting that this couple to stick around for a little while, and I hope that they stay within the DC Prime Universe continuity, because I absolutely love them. They are just throwback characters with interesting abilities and interesting tactics, if you will. Definitely something to check out if you haven't already. Doomsday Clock is definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest, storyline out of DC continuity in quite a while. This couple, they look like a bunch of jokers, but they are definitely a lot more than that. They made their comic book debut Doomsday Clock #1 in January of 2018. At #6, Reginald Long, aka the new Rorschach. This Rorschach was driven absolutely batshit crazy by Ozymandias' creature that was released upon New York City, and he found his way basically institutionalized, where he found himself being brutalized by not only the staff but the inmates as well. He eventually would befriend the Moth, who would train him in the Minutemen's hand-to-hand combat techniques, basically turning him into a one-man Minuteman army. This was not enough for him. He would eventually be given Rorschach's journal, and he would adopt the identity of Rorschach, as well as adopting his brutal tactics in hand-to-hand combat. He would find his way, along with Mime and Marionette, to the Earth Prime DC universe in search of Dr. Manhattan, in hopes to restore his universe. Here's hoping that Rorschach sticks around for a while, and I, for one, would not be upset if this particular Rorschach would stick around in the DC Prime universe permanently. At #5, we have the abominable, grotesque, ancient one of the other kind, the bringers and creators of magic in the DC universe proper, the Upside Down Man. You can tell by his imagery that he is definitely inspired from Lovecraftian concepts mixed with modern day creepypastas. You can totally see Slenderman and Jeff the Killer inspirations within this one creature. And though his run in Justice League Dark as the first villain they must come across and face was rather short, his impact in just visual concept alone was one of utter terror. He was absolutely fantastic and has been my favorite thing from Justice League Dark. This new team led by Wonder Woman, of course, he is definitely a iconic looking character, and one that I hope will reoccur and come down the pipeline many times. Hopefully he can be a main rogue added to Wonder Woman / Justice League Dark's gallery, if you will, because again, on both fronts they don't necessarily have very big rogues gallery, and this would be a great addition. His abilities to just conform magic and seemingly just basically alter reality at a snap of a finger, as well as just an impactful blast out of his mouth. This is not his true form. We have yet to see his true form. He explains to us in his origin that that the concept of bodies is new to him, and that he hopes that he got his body limbs essentially on the right way. This character just is one of my absolute favorite coming out of 2018. I gotta say, the moment I saw him and heard about him and saw his design, I literally flipped my shit. I just couldn't believe that they were going this route, and it literally sold me on Justice League Dark from the beginning. I was like, I am definitely on board with this one. And he made his actual appearance in Justice League Dark Volume 2, #1. This creature was just from the get-go, and though it was very short, it was definitely very memorable. You must check it out. #4, Lanaya Wazo, the 21st Century Phantom Girl, created by Jeff Lemire and Ivan Raz. She made her debut in February of 2018. She is the second person to hold the mantle of Phantom Girl, but technically the first, for she is the distant relative of the Phantom Girl we all know and love from the Legion of Superheroes, of the future, if you will. She is a victim of the dark multiverse. Her and her family were on vacation. She hails from the planet Bazile, is how I say it, but it is spelled BGZTL. While on vacation, a dark storm, basically a space storm rift in space, was destroying her and her parents' ship. Her father decided to shove her in a capsule to kind of save her life, but his calculations were wrong, and instead of saving her life, he shot her directly into the storm, where she found herself stuck for many, many years, growing up into her, I would say, early 20s, being a member of that's basically alien species, if you will. She has all the abilities as Phantom Girl. She can become intangible at will. And while in the Dark Multiverse, unfortunately for her, she was stuck in an intangible state for years and years and years. Basically, her only friends were spiders for, I would say, upwards of anywhere between 10 to 15 years. She was found by her soon-to-be teammates of the Terrifics, consisting of Plastic Man, Metamorpho, and Mr. Terrific. While there, they did rescue her, but pulling themselves out of the Dark Multiverse left them all kind of with a twist. They cannot leave each other's space for more than basically up to, I believe it was 1 mile. If they vacate each other's space, if you will, if they kind of separate themselves more than 1 mile, they'll all basically explode. So now we have the team of the Terrifics, which is absolutely fantastic. You must check it out. It is definitely the Fantastic Four of the DC Prime Universe proper. At number 3, DC's answer to the Incredible Hulk, Ethan Avery, aka Damage. All he ever wanted to do was make a difference, like Superman or the Flash. But unfortunately, he became a victim to the US military's testing and tampering, turning him essentially into a brooding monster of gigantic proportions for up to an hour at a time, with a cooldown time of 24 hours, essentially giving him the ability, and I use air quotes here, to Hulk out for an hour. He is quite possibly DC's strongest character to date, even pushing the limits to the Man and Girl of Steel. This monster is definitely one you should check out. Was a surprise to me, as it probably is to you. Coming out of the new age of DC heroes is Silencer. That's right, a former hitwoman for Leviathan. Before retiring to her suburb home, trying to live a family life, she keeps getting brought back in by the life that has basically controlled her life for years. This is a freaking comic that is absolutely blew my mind, being the best, hands down, I think, with the exception of maybe one, which is NumberOne, being the best character in terms of story introduced in the new age of heroes. This young lady, this assassin, can go toe-to-toe with the likes of a Dick Grayson, a Deathstroke, and a Batman. She is a professional hitwoman with the ability to silence all sound within a certain diameter or upon a certain object, hence firing a gun without there being any sound, so no one is the wiser, sneaking up on anyone, including the Batman and Dick Grayson, without any sound to alert her opponent, if you will. She was also the first character given a crossover into the main DC universe, with appearing in Nightwing's, a few issues of Nightwing. Now, this character, when the new Age of Heroes was announced, was probably the one I was least excited for. She looked the most basic. She had the most basic, oh, she's a hit woman. But it turned out, story-wise, it was the best. This is not just a story of a woman trying to get out of the life, like a John Wick, if you will. This is just so much more. And then throw in going to war with the likes of Talia al Ghul. You know this is basically the dial's getting turned up to 11 with this one. So definitely check out Silencer if you haven't already. Now, before we move forward to number one, I gotta give a shout out to all of the new Age of Heroes and every character that did not make this list in the DC Prime Universe proper. There are tons and tons of characters that I could have chosen and gone through. And trust me, guys, this was a very, very hard list to make. So I'm just going to give a few shout outs, mostly to the New Age of Heroes characters that do not make this list, like Brimstone, who will not be making this list, because he's a great essence of a character. All the characters of the gang, and if you know who the gang is, they are pretty awesome. They are basically child forms of all of, well, not all, but few DC villains, if you will. For instance, we have Joker Jr., Kid Deadshot, Shaggy Boy, Ice Princess, Brainiac 6. The Strange Visitor as well gets an honorable mention. Jin, Baby Boom, Impulse, Roundhouse, Master Jailer, Eon. Those are just going to be just a few of the honorable mentions that I have for this list. Now on to number one. Without further ado, at number one, DC's answer to Peter Parker, not so much Spider-Man, but to Peter Parker, is Derek James, the 18-year-old Puerto Rican high school student that has fallen through a dimensional rift in time and space into the dark multiverse, coming out the other end as Sideways. Sideways is an absolutely joy of a character to read. He was kind of a little bit of an issue in the beginning, you know, especially by the time you get to issue number 5, but he's kind of stepped it up and it's gotten a lot better. But this character actually resonates with me just the same in many ways as Spider-Man has. Not quite to the same level, obviously, because he is a brand new character, but a lot of the stuff that James deals with on a day-to-day basis, okay, you can definitely see Peter Parker dealing with the same issues. Everything from trying to deal with school and work and, family life. His mother's working for a corrupt company and trying to juggle the abilities and powers that he has that he calls rifting, that gives him the ability to not just see through time and space, but able to jump through time and space, essentially giving him the ability to teleport basically all over the globe and possibly through other times and dimensions as well. This dude is super powerful and he doesn't even realize how powerful he really is with that type of ability. Only time will tell how great this character will turn out to be and how long his longevity will turn out to be, but it seems as if as of now, he's on the course on an upward angle, and it looks like he'll be around for years to come. And Sideways is my favorite character that debuted in 2018. He is a part of the Hero Initiative. And honestly, it was a pretty much overall a pretty good success. You have some hits and some misses, but Sideways definitely comes out on the other end very, very good. You need to check it out if you haven't already, guys. And like I said, this list was so hard to make. There were so many people that debuted in 2018. If you don't believe me, try and check it out yourself, man. I was overwhelmed with how many characters actually debuted in 2018. So I tried to stick to the DC Prime Universe proper, if you will. That was the only way that I was able to narrow it down. Now, your list may not exactly coincide with my list, so let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I was joking when I said this is the definitive list. It's all subject to, your own interpretation. So let us know in the comments below who were your top 10 debuts of 2018 in the DC Prime Universe. In fact, even if you want to expand outside the Prime Universe, feel free, Universe. Let us know in the comments below. Like I said, we do get to all the comments to some degree. We do check them out. Life does find a way to get in the way, like I always say. But we do check them out. We will respond back to you guys. Let's talk about it in the comments below. And guys, go ahead and Hulk smash that like button. Okay, click that notification bell if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If this is your first time, we do all kinds of videos here, ranging from top 10s to reviews, to fan fiction, You name it, we do it. And if you have an idea for a video that you want us to do, let us know in the comments below as well, guys. And until next time, I'm C-Dubs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace.